Welcome back to another episode of Mr. J's Workshop. Today, I'm going to call this like part two. My last video, I was talking about mounting the horizontal stabilator. All right, but there is still a couple things I had to take care of before I can say it's done. So before I get into that, I want to thank Roger at Zenith Aircraft there, answering the call for my Zenith blueprint binder. He sent me this binder here that it holds the prints perfectly, and with the vinyl covers that I have on the prints now, allows me to take the prints out and carry just the print that I need for the job I'm doing. It works great. Roger, thank you so much. I'm really happy that I had that and no more ripping of blueprints. So to wrap up my horizontal stabilator, there was a couple things I had to do. On the mounting of the rear, where it mounts to the rear of the fuselage, the elevator was hitting the top of the mount. And then two, the trailing edge of the horizontal stabilator, it was also binding, and I had to relieve that. So those two areas I had to take care of first before moving on. The second thing I had to do was I had to set deflection stops for the up and down. And I did this two ways. One way was an old primitive way. I made my own protractor that sat on top of the horizontal stabilator, and I just deflect it. As you see here, maximum throw is 35 degrees, and maximum down is 30 degrees. Now, there is two neutral position from the pivot point. So the way they want you to do this is put the flap up so it's even with the top of the horizontal stabilator. That's your neutral position. And from there, you make your measurements from that neutral position, not from the center of your horizontal the center of your elevator, if that all makes sense. If you look at the prints closely, it really shows it very clear. So this was one method I used to get the throw that I needed on the elevator. The second method, just to double check myself to be up to date on tools, I got a digital readout that I zeroed the top of the horizontal stabilator and then checked it on the up position and the down position. Once that was set, that was pretty much done. The hardest thing was setting your stop up top for your up elevator and setting the down stop for your down position on your elevator. But I got everything within a degree, 2 degrees. Compared to this and compared to the digital readout, they're both happy. So the next challenge was putting the rudder up. And I will tell you that we had to take the rudder on and off at least 15 times. And I'll get more into that. So installing it was a challenge. There's these two spacers. One spacer is 10 millimeters and the other spacer is 7 millimeters, and they're 4130, and they're used for attaching the rudder. But along with those spacers, there's two washers for the upper mount and then one washer for the bottom mount. Now, there's not much room to get, at least with me, I got big fat fingers, to get in there to hold the spacer, hold the two washers, and try to get it number, I think it's number 4 or number 3. a number 3 bolt, which is 3/16, to try to get all that in there. I was having a heck of a time. So what I decided to do was I got some crazy glue and I glued the 2 washers to the 4130. You know, I just put a dab of crazy glue, and it was just enough to hold them together. And then I put a little dab on the upper mount to hold them there, that I don't have to play with them. Also, I did the same thing on the lower mounting point for the rudder. And that freed my hand up a little bit more. So I got the rudder up there, and I had to use a long needle nose pliers to try to get the bolt to line up with the hole, to catch the spacer. It was a little bit challenged, but because I did that little trick with the crazy glue, it went together no problem. We bolted that together, and the next thing I needed to do was set the stops for the rudder. And the way I did that was I made a little protractor tool with the amount of deflection the rudder has, and the way I got this to line up with the fuselage, when we mounted the tie down in the tail, we tried to line that up as straight as possible, and then I laser cut this template to fit really snug on that, to get this to be in center of the fuselage as close as possible. And it was pretty close. And then I 3D printed a little pointer, so when we rotated the rudder back and forth, we could check that we were getting 23 deflection on the rudder. Once that was done, we got the deflection and we got the stop locations. We rivet the stops in position, and we double checked everything to make sure everything was still in throw. And now we're permanently mounting this. The upper bolt was a challenge. You know, there wasn't much room to get up there with 2 wrenches and all, but what I found worked the best, I got 2 extensions with a swivel and a 3/8, and there was enough room to slide it inside here to reach the nut. But then I ran into a problem again. So the nut has a washer. So trying to get my finger in there, my fat fingers couldn't get in there to start the threads, and then kept on dropping the bolt, losing a washer, get another washer, lose the bolt again. Lose the nut again. Now I need another nut, can't find it. Eventually, when we clean the shop, we'll find all these nuts and washers and all, along with everything else. So, crazy glue again. So I got a dab of crazy glue, and I glued the washer to the nut. Now, because I did that, it sat in the socket perfectly. I was able to feed it up inside there, get to the bolt, and I was able to screw it on there. This made a world of a difference, or I'd probably be today trying to get that bolt together. So the only other thing that I was telling you we had this off like 15 times was the up and down mount on the elevator kept on rubbing on the back of the rudder. You know, depending where the rudder was, when you would rotate that up and down, we would get the control horn to actually rub against that rudder. Okay, so take it off, grind a little bit on there, put it back up, see if it clears. So that's why we had to take it off so many times, because on the down stop, I wanted to make sure I was engaging on that mount on the back of the fuselage. I wanted to make sure I was engaging a good 1/2 inch. There was a time that I went to an airport where a guy in the 701, I don't know what he was thinking. I mean, he probably had like an 1/8 inch or 16th engagement on the down. So in time, because it was so close to the end of the mount up there, it start making a groove. And one day he came in and he put in a wind correction while he's taxiing. He had a tailwind, and he pushed that stick forward, and that whole horn got jammed. It went through the top of the mount, and he couldn't get it to come back up. So I made sure on our down position, where it locates right here and hits on the top of the mount, that we have a good 1/2 inch to 5/8, somewhere around there. So it's a good solid down. But that control horn was a pain in the butt because it kept on rubbing on the back of the rudder. But once we got it, then we secured everything. It was fine. It was fine. I just didn't want to take off a lot of material and then find out it took too much off. Another tip, I used some 1/2 inch poly tubing I got at Home Depot, and I ran it through the fuselage out to where we're installing the feet connects in the tail. So we have a 1/2 inch poly tubing from the front of the fuselage all the way up to here. So in an event that we have to change wires and all, we can just push it through the 1/2 inch poly tubing and not have to climb inside the fuselage or anything like that to try to get it all the way up here. And actually we did the same thing with the wing. We put a poly tubing from one end to the other end of the wing, and that way we could just push the wiring through. Well, that's about all I have. I hope some of those tips might be helpful. If you have a better idea, please comment below. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe. We'll see you next time. Keep it building. Have a great day.